Hi, John. This is Sean in Chambers. Just doing a sound check, please.
Hear you loud and clear.
Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate it.
Hi, Elizabeth. This is Grace in Chambers, just doing a sound check.
Hello, I can hear you.
Thank you. Councillor Bermansky, this is Grace in Chambers, just doing a sound check.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Jolly, this is Grace in Chambers, just doing a sound check.
Hi, Grace.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Mayor.
You can hear me okay?
Loud and clear, you bet.
Perfect, thanks.
Hi, Shannon. This is Grace in Chambers, just doing a sound check.
Hello.
Thank you.
How's Prince George, Mayor?
Cold. Similar to there, I guess. So it's kind of what you would expect. Lots of smokestacks and kind of northern town infrastructure. I'll get to explore it a little bit more later on today and tomorrow, but so far so good.
Well, we only have 48 hours left of winter, in my opinion, and then we're going into spring. So spring is Thursday.
That's awesome. I've got this puppy that is refusing to actually leave the deck to go to the bathroom, so my deck's a mess. Be nice to clean it off.
Ego did that her first winter too, Kathy.
Yeah, they get so cold. They're so little, right?
And we have to spring head on Thursday too, or Saturday. Ken just reminded me. So we're
What's
losing
on Saturday?
Yeah, we lose an hour's sleep on Saturday night.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Welcome to all the accidents and heart attacks.
So who's in Chambers? I see Wes is in Chambers and Ken. Where's Mike and Shelley? And Sheena's there too? Okay.
I'm in here, and Mike, is Mike here too?
Yeah,
Mike,
Mike's harassing staff.
so four of us are in Chambers.
Okay, I don't see you logged into the Zoom meeting, Sheena, because I can't see your
No, I'm
face.
here. Hold on,
Are you?
hold on.
Oh, there's Mike.
Oh,
Okay.
it's, I know why, because it says it's Lime Street.
Okay, Shelley's at home, Natalie's at home. Okay, got it covered.
I don't even know where I am.
See, I think I see your thumb.
You see my thumb?
There's something in front of your screen.
Oh, dear Lord, no, that's not it. There, they have a cover on it. Okay, that's perfect. Now you can see me. You're very lucky.
Okay, got a couple more minutes, guys. If anyone needs to stretch. Is it really that quiet in Chambers?
Yep, it is.
Yeah,
It's
you're-
dead. Ken's not cracking any jokes.
He's just talking quietly with Mike, trying to plot who's going to actually approve the agenda.
All right, 1 o'clock, just flipped over. So I'll call the meeting to order. Pretend gavel strike. Attendance at the start of the meeting is 100% with Councillor Bermansky, Councillor Jolly, and myself virtual. Have you guys figured out which one is going to move the agenda? I see no hands up.
How do you want to,
So because we're on Zoom, you have to go down to the reactions button and push the hands up so I can address or acknowledge you. So go ahead, Mike.
Finally figured it out. That the March 5th, 2024 agenda be adopted as presented.
Awesome. I'll call for the vote. Those of us online will use our little voting things?
Actually, Mayor, if we could have everyone use their green voting things, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, sure. Okay, there we go. So that passes. We're gonna move on to, we do have some registered speakers, but they were all specific to certain agenda items, so we're gonna skip over that till we get to those agenda items. So that means there's nothing for agenda item 4. I need someone to make a motion for the consent agenda. Oh, I gotta do my yes. You guys can unclick your green check marks for now, and Councillor Hughes, you want to do consent? Go ahead.
Okay. Just gonna look on the floor. The recommendations, the following agenda reports be approved. 6.1, special council meeting minutes of February 13th, 2024, and the regular council meeting minutes for February 20th, 2024. And 9.1, council code of conduct bylaw 38/2017 amendment for second and third readings.
All right, thank you. Call for the vote on that. That carries unanimously. So minutes from February 13th and our special council meeting for the 20th, we're just on consent. Now we're on agenda item 7, which is the Youth Advisory Committee, which is always exciting. And we have our chair of our youth committee here. So I think online, right? Sage is online. There's Sage. Yep. Hi, Sage. Nice to see you. You have a short little report that you want to give a presentation on. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council members. My name is Sage Yakimchuk, and I'm the Youth Advisory Committee Chair. Today, I'm very happy to share a few highlights of the 2023 Youth Advisory Committee Annual Report. Our primary focus for the Youth Advisory Committee last year was dedicated to brainstorming, discussing, and recommending to Council that YAC continues. Instead of disbanding, the committee wanted to create a more comprehensive approach to our work as a council committee. We also continuously want to learn more about our city, governance, and policies. Regular updates from staff liaisons Shannon Pillar and Councillor Jolly kept the committee informed about incoming community events, budget matters, bylaws, and upcoming council agenda items and topics. Notably, YAC applied for a Youth Safety Road Grant in October and participated in the Snowflake Festival in November, showcasing our commitment to community involvement and participation. Looking ahead to 2024, the Youth Advisory Committee anticipates further opportunities for active engagement and meaningful contributions to the St. Albert community, such as volunteering as a committee. As we begin to do strategic planning for the year, we would love to see Council actively give YAC items to directly advise on, or as we put in our recommendation, more fish to fry. I know all members would be very grateful for an opportunity to further engage with Council and to make more decision-making actions. There will be a motion that will take place tomorrow, Wednesday, March 6th, as the next Youth Advisory Committee meeting regarding the Volunteer Opportunity Awareness Initiative and or programs, where the result of the motion will go back to Council in early Q2. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, either myself or Shannon Pillar, YAC staff liaison will also be online. We are both happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Well, thank you, Sage. That was awesome. I don't want to ask you your age because you're never supposed to ask a woman their age, but however old you're, that was very, very poised and a great presentation. I know myself at your age, I would have been nervous as hell to do that. So you did a great job. Sorry, did I just swear? I did, sorry. I had a couple questions. First of all, I love the fact that you guys call yourself YAC. That's the first time I've heard it said that, but good for you guys. I really had a question about what is the Youth Safety Road Grant?
Yeah, so basically we have a subcommittee on the committee where we were gifted some money to do kind of more awareness on why you should be safe on the roads, why youth in particular should practice road safety, for like wearing seatbelts and other rules like that. A couple of the committee members have gone out and talked to people who have been directly affected by road safety and more so not following road safety, and kind of doing a bunch of research and putting out information that could help people want to be more road conscious when they're driving, more specifically youth.
Is it just for driving? The reason I ask is I have a youth in my house who I just caught riding without a bike helmet on, and like they know better. So-
It's primarily focused on driving, but it is
Driving?
also like any sort of road. I don't want to say events because that's not the right word, but anything that like scooters, the electric scooters, for example, that could be a really good example as well.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, Councillor Hughes has her hand up. She probably has a question for you. Go ahead.
Yep, thank you. So when I look at your, thank you for coming. It's always fun to come talk to council. When I look at the 2024 plans, you have engaging in volunteer opportunities. Council gave I'm going to use the word assignment for lack of a better word, to come up with ways to promote volunteerism in the community. And I'm just wondering, is that still on your agenda? Because that was the intention of try to get some kind of feedback on that, or because it's not listed in your 2024 plans explicitly?
Oh, yes. So we have our meeting tomorrow where we're going to do a motion as to what we're going to do with that money, that grant. We haven't voted on that yet, though, so that's happening tomorrow.
Okay, so because I guess the money is sort of like if you need it. So if you don't need it, but I guess, do you guys have an idea of when you're going to come back with feedback to council about just general ideas of what you might be doing? I'm not asking you to have it like today or tomorrow, but do you have an idea if it will be like later this year or the
I believe it'll be back to council early Q2.
Okay, perfect. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Shannon, you just turned on your camera. Did you want to add to that? You're good? Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Sorry.
Councillor Broadhead, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Sage, for coming, and good job presenting. Appreciate it. Mayor asked my question about the road safety, but my question now is around providing input into civic projects. Have you been given sort of information from the city as to, say, the Element Park in North Erin Ridge or the Millennium Park? Is the Youth Advisory Committee looking to provide feedback on those sorts of projects?
I don't believe we've heard of those projects quite yet. We might have. Shannon, I'm not sure if you remember that. If not, then we can definitely bring it up at one of our committee meetings and see if there's something that we can look at towards those.
Perfect.
Yak has not been asked to participate yet, but I'm sure they'd be open to participating and giving advice on that.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if it's not. Thanks so much, you two. Appreciate it.
Councillor Broadhead, I think, and all council, and actually even Ledge and Bill, I think I think when we're sitting doing agenda planning and looking at what's coming to council a month or month and a half out, that's when we should probably be saying, do we need input, or would the youth committee or the seniors committee too, for that matter, want to have input on this? Sometimes we don't think of that. So let's, Bill, let's you and I just figure out how we can sort of add that to our agenda planning agenda, kind of just every week, just like what might be good input, because there's probably lots that we're missing. And Sage, that's probably our fault in not being proactive on that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to try to do a better job on that. Oh, Councillor Pransky has her hand up.
Thank you for presenting today, Sage. You did a great job. And I'll just mention the two items that Councillor Broadhead mentioned. They are online for, providing input before you have any mandate, put forward to you. Just, promote it out there. Let all your friends and family know that they can provide input online currently. That's it. Thank you.
Cool. Natalie, I will look at you because you're still the rep on that committee. Do you want
yeah.
to add, or do you want to just go straight to the motion?
I'll go straight to the motion, but I'll enter into debate just a little bit, just to make a couple comments.
Go ahead. Thank you.
That the Youth Advisory Committee Annual Report for 2023 provided as an attachment to the March 5, 2024 agenda report entitled Youth Advisory Committee 2023 Annual Report be received as information.
All right, I'll accept that. Go ahead.
Thanks so much. So it's been absolutely a delight to work with the Youth Advisory Committee. Sage has been fantastic. She's been chair for a little over a year now. And we've got a great vice chair, and the whole group is just wonderful to work with. They do know about Cultivate the Conversation. I think we talk about it just about every meeting. So they are aware of those opportunities. One of the things that I also do is I go through the CAP list every month. And so I am bringing up items that might be of interest. And so in the time that I've been with the committee, that's been mostly a learning opportunity. So as you know, there are decisions that the Youth Advisory Committee is interested in. They'll ask questions about what that means, how we consider decisions, not necessarily providing advice unless they feel that they want to provide advice, but adjusting the bylaw to allow for that learning aspect has been really valuable from my perspective. So thanks so much, Sage, for presenting today and for your work over the last. It's been a year and a bit since you've been on the committee, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a pleasure working with you, and that's all I have. Thanks.
Awesome. Anyone else in debate? I shouldn't call it debate. In comments? All right, before I close, Councillor Jolly, I'll just say thank you, Sage. I hope the experience has been great. Part of your report talked about the learning opportunities that you are given through this process. Very different from any of other committees when people have been around for a long time and understand governance and how committees work. But for the youth, I see that as an opportunity for you guys to learn as well. So thank you for pointing that out in the in your report, and thank you for the time. I know this takes a lot of time for you guys to spend meeting, but I think it's fantastic. So nope, that's all I had. Councillor Jolly, you have your hand up.
I'm going to close really briefly.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
I forgot to thank Shannon as well. She's been wonderful to work with over the past year, and I know the whole group adores working with her. Thanks.
Great. Okay, call for the vote, guys. All right, I feel like that's unanimous. All right, thanks, Sage, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you maybe next year as chair.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, next agenda item is something we've probably all been kind of looking forward to, is our Business Improvement Area Board approval and budget approval. Online, we have Shannon Roche and Elena Brown, but they've actually asked to speak after the presentation from our administration. So Sean, you're online with us, right? There he is. Can't see you, Sean.
He's actually in chambers. They're just taking their seats, Mayor.
Oh, perfect. Even better. Okay. Let me know when you guys are ready.
We are ready.
Awesome. Okay, start away, and thank you. Sean, I know before you get started, you've been spending a lot of time on this file, and I appreciate it because it's something that, oh, Shannon's in person. Great. Okay, sweet. I know, Sean, this is something that council kind of asked you to do as a great way to kickstart our downtown. So thank you for doing all the work, and I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Your Worship. And thank you to all of council for the opportunity to present today. Oh, we have.
Problem?
No, there's just a little minor confusion. I think for Shannon, and they're gonna have Sean predict.
Yeah, they requested that Sean go first. Is that correct, Shannon?
Whichever works best. They kind of dovetail together. So if Sean's ready.
Okay, let's go with Sean, and then we'll go to you guys, and yeah, we'll figure it out. Everyone will get their chance. If that's the way you guys want it. I'm pretty flexible.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Sean.
Perfect. My apologies. Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of today's presentation is as required in bylaw 21/2023 Downtown Business Improvement Area Bylaw. The St. Albert Downtown Business Association must present their proposed Board of Directors and 2024 budget for council approval. As you can see, we have a couple board members in council chambers with us today. We have Shannon Roche, the president, and then we also have Elena, the vice president of the association. For some context on how we arrived here today, in September of 2023, council passed the Downtown Business Improvement Area bylaw, which established the Downtown Business Improvement Area, the St. Albert Downtown Business Association, and the regulations under which it will operate. The St. Albert Downtown Business Association, which I'll reference as the SADBA throughout the presentation, was then required to hold an annual general meeting to elect directors and prepare a budget for the calendar year. The proposed directors and the budget must be submitted to council for approval as part of an annual process. In November 2023, the SADBA held its AGM, electing 5 board members. Through motion, they elected to move the final approval of the budget and election of an additional board member to a meeting in January of 2024. As of January 2024, at the time of the SADBA budget discussions, there were 125 taxable businesses within the BIA boundary. Their proposed 2024 budget indicates revenues of $25,000 through the BIA tax, and is anticipated that each business within the BIA will pay approximately $200. The proposed BIA Board of Directors and 2024 budget are attached to this report for council's reference. The SADBA aims to play an integral role in leading vibrancy efforts through downtown, through improving, beautifying, and maintaining property in the BIA and promoting the BIA as a business and shopping area. These objectives are reflected in the proposed budget. City administration continues to work closely with them to develop a plan and process for moving forward with a mutually beneficial approach to the vibrancy efforts of downtown. Administration is proposing 2 recommendations to council: that the appointments of the directors to the St. Albert Downtown Business Association Board, as set out in the attached entitled St. Albert DBA 2024 to 2025 Board of Directors, be approved, each for a term of March 5th, 2024 to December 31st, 2025, and that the St. Albert Downtown Business Association's proposed 2024 budget, as set out in the attached entitled St. Albert BIA 2024 proposed budget, be approved.
All right, thanks, Sean. Before we even open it up to questions from council, why don't we go straight to Shanna and Elena for their presentation? Do you guys have a PowerPoint to share?
We do. Yes, we do.
Awesome. Okay, so let's flip them over. There we go.
Yay.
Okay. Welcome. I'm so sorry I can't be there in person. I'm actually in Prince George for Federation of Canadian Municipality meetings. And so I'm sad to miss you guys both, but thank you for your work, and I'll let you start.
Okay. Next button working. Oh, there we go. So this is like Sean had mentioned, we did hold our AGM in November. This was the result of our board directive, just to have all of our board members voted in. So myself as president, Elena as vice president, Michelle McDonald from Trist took the position for treasurer. Our grants director position is currently open, so we're all working together on tackling that. Special events director, Leah Luden from St. Albert Arts and Heritage Foundation. Gwen Wilkinson was our marketing director, and Jennifer Parker from Edward Jones took on the member at large position. Next. So with our source of funds, everything right now is obviously an estimate. So we do have $25,000 for business fees, and then with the city match, $25,000 gave us total funds available of $50,000. After a lot of discussion, just to get the BIA started, we do have $1,700 for administration, and that is going to include legal fees in order to set up a non-for-profit structure and corporation. Website build, domain and email at $2,000. So we are looking at acquiring a student for that. Accounting, auditing, insurance, and then also a contingency of $650, just because administration fees can kind of get a little lost in there. So we want to make sure we had a little bit of a buffer. With the events and marketing, this one we're really excited about. We have spoken to 2 different companies now for a fall and winter lighting. It came in around 18,000 from those 2 vendors to have approximately 41 to 45 trees light wrapped. I did show a picture there just so you can kind of see that. I think it would add a lot of beautification to downtown, also bring people down to walk around throughout the fall and winter months. Again, there is a little bit of a buffer in there. We also have $10,000 pushed towards summer activation that the board's currently talking about doing things like street cleaning with, having the sidewalks all cleaned and sprayed, as well as having some permanent planters, some additional ones installed downtown. We are looking at an entertainment district application, which we would have to come back to discuss that with, because we found out would be a city bylaw change. So that would be something that would be on a future docket. And then we also have $5,000 in marketing, which we're looking at just basically doing some marketing to promote the businesses in the downtown area. And then finally, we have our operational and an area we quantified as city partnership. So we like to hear that there's lots of opportunities for boutiques and restaurants and cafes downtown. However, we're pretty limited on what is available. A lot of the spaces are quite small. So we're looking for assistance on a gap analysis for retail and what type of retail slots could possibly go within those spaces. A lot of spaces are anywhere from 800 to 1,200 square feet, some of them as small as 500. We do have quite a few low-lit security areas. So we're hoping that we would be able to have that as a city partnership request. Basically, when we're looking at bringing down more vibrancy and more population to downtown, we do want to make sure that it is a secure area, and lighting is a big part of that. Garbage cans, my personal favorite. I'll leave that one alone, but it's there. And then also we did take a walk around, Elena and myself, and we noticed there's about 8 trees that have been either cut down, I'm assuming they've died, that haven't been replaced. So we're hoping to maybe get some of those trees back. There's just open grates in the walkways right now. And then we also discussed a great opportunity is there's some open areas where we could put seating areas or picnic tables. I did put those 2 photographs on there as well. I think it's a great chance for people to get outside, eat their lunches, and just see that there is life downtown and get people outside more, especially during the summer months. And that's it. That's all our money. It's gone. Didn't take long.
That's a good first year, good start. I saw, where am I seeing this? I saw, and maybe it's a question for Sean, but in your budget, under events marketing, you have entertainment district application.
That's a fun one. That's actually been something that we're kind of seeing pop up all over the province. The city of Red Deer just did it. There's certain Edmonton also have outlined an entertainment district. It is a city bylaw, which we would come back with more information for that. But what it's going to do is it's going to cut a lot of red tape out of the area so that if we're having events downtown, then that does give our opportunity to have people actually walk from one restaurant to the other while carrying an alcoholic beverage. There's obviously going to be rules in place for that. If we want to look at a patio program as part of our summer activation, that's going to take away all that red tape of our restaurants having to apply for an extended AGLC license outside onto that patio area because they would be within the entertainment district. So there's a lot of really fun ways that we can hopefully look at applying that bylaw, which we will come back with more information. And also it's kind of setting a pretense of what kind of a culture do we want to see downtown moving forward.
Cool. I mean, I remember when the provincial government added that as an option to the Municipal Government Act. I thought that was exciting, and I'm excited to see that you're already exploring that concept. I think it's fantastic, and it would be great. I know Okotoks had a bit of pushback from the community, so we'll have to see how that goes. But thank you for even taking that on, because I think that will be, as you said, a great way to cut red tape. And I know the provincial government will be excited to see it happen, especially with our minister being in charge of AGLC. So let me know what I can do to help. Okay, I got Wes's hand up.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thanks for your presentation. Exciting. Certainly not here to pass judgment on your budget, but I do have a question around. So the entertainment district, thank you for explaining that. The downtown seating, like we have patios now, are you going to, how are you going to manage that, I guess? Or do you have some sites already picked out? I saw the pictures, but maybe I didn't
don't know if we
quite
could go back.
capture what was going on there.
There's a few open areas where it'd be nice to just kind of get some more community spaces for, like, said, people come sit, eat their lunch outside. There's a lot of offices downtown. Nobody's open for lunch.
Yeah,
And I think if
fair
we were,
enough.
you know, and if you go look at Jack's Burger Shack, all summer long, like, their eating area is full. And, you know,
Right.
a lot of people just want to take their lunch and go sit outside, and it just brings life to the area. So I think by providing that, we did kind of briefly see Google Maps, not the greatest, there's a vehicle in the way. But two kind of opportune areas where we could potentially look at putting some kind of like a permanent structure picnic table in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's not so much for like a patio per se, but just like nice little seating areas where people can come outside.
Okay, fair enough. Any interaction with the chamber in terms of like Saturday with the farmers market in terms of attracting people from there to your business areas?
Yeah, we're gonna be working with the chamber on how we can be more included in some of the events. And there's more events than just the farmers market evidently that go on in the area. How do we become, and that's something that Leah is going to be taking on. How do we indoctrinate ourselves into those as well? And make sure that the people that are coming down for the events are also coming down and visiting all the great boutiques and restaurants we have available.
Well, I'm excited to see what you're doing. So good luck and yeah,
Thank you.
trust everything goes well. Thanks.
Thank you.
You bet.
Councillor Bermetsky.
Thank you. Thank you for presenting to council today. It's exciting that you got most of your committee together. I have a couple questions, hopefully not premature, but when you have that grants person in place, whoever that may be, is the intent to gradually work your way out of the city matching your budget? Or is that even been a discussion at this point in time?
From our understanding, the city matching is gonna be scaled down and is provided over 3 years. So at this point, when we're looking at grants, we're looking at either larger project initiatives, ones that can dovetail in with that, or ones that as we grow, we can use as we lose that matching.
Okay, thank you. And then the other question I had is with events, like if you're focusing mainly on events, has there been discussion with businesses and their hours of operation, like around events? Because a lot of the businesses are closed at specific times that there are events downtown. Has that been any discussion or not?
It's been a little bit of a struggle. 16% of the businesses fall into kind of the boutique category. The large, kind of a significant share are going to fall into office administration, medical and health clinics that don't really have any value from remaining open during the events. Hoping that, again, having an entertainment district down there would help to gradually change the culture of what we're having down there and create more of that eating and shopping, dining experience that can really partner with the events that do happen.
Okay, thank you and good luck. You got a lot of work ahead, so thank you.
Councillor Killick.
Thank you. Good to see you again, Shannon and Helena. Question around in the briefing document on page 21, it says the Downtown Business Association wouldn't be making use of the $10,000 that was allocated for the Snowflake Festival. And I wonder if you could just speak to that for a moment in terms of how you see that being managed going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I can take that one. So the Kinsman Center has volunteered to take over the Snowflake Festival, which we're really excited about. The Snowflake Festival really provides a lot of entertainment and it brings a lot of people downtown. The problem with us taking over it is that we are a volunteer committee. So it is a really big event to take on. So we were really happy that the Kinsmen could take over it, and we would love to see that portion of it go to them so they can plan it fully and do a really good job with it.
And I
Great.
think our lighting will be amazing
and our
to
lighting.
add to the Snowflake Festival.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I just wanted to make sure that you still fully supported and saw
Yeah.
the,
Oh,
saw the
100%.
value.
Yeah, very excited for it this year.
Yeah, so we'll maybe just have to change the wording of our bylaw that gave that matching or gave that grant dollars to the Kinsmen rather than to the Downtown Business Association.
Yes.
The other question was just a small clarification in the budget. It shows the line items for garbage cans, for example. And it shows that that's being funded by CP, and I assume that means city partnership, as we talked about.
Yeah, there was a few areas with the Sydney partnership request on it.
Trees, garbage cans, those kind of operational things that the Downtown Business Association wouldn't get involved in, but they're still important to get done through partnership with this city doing it rather than Downtown Business Association doing it.
Yeah, I think too, we have less red tape than the city does, so that would be that partnership portion that we would be looking at. Also, when you look the Snowflake Festival, when you have 30,000 plus people come downtown, there is not a lot of garbage cans, especially not for that volume of people that come down there, and it leaves the downtown businesses with a lot of mess that gets left for us to clean up. And we want the events to be seen as positive, and we want to be able to have more of them. And I think that, you know, just making sure that those receptacles are available to keep our area clean is super, super important.
Great. That's all the questions I had for clarification, and I'll ask another question of administration along the same lines. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Mackay.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I guess maybe a little bit along the line of an earlier question in relation to hours of operation. I think that leads more to the retail gap analysis so what do you see that? I mean, and I'll probably follow up with administration as well because it's that partnership, but what do you see? I mean, intuitively, you must know that there's things that are missing that would help with revitalization or increase the vibrancy of downtown, but I'm just curious as to I realize I'm asking a 50,000 foot levels question, but can you give me some examples of what you see the benefit or what you're hoping to accomplish out of that?
I personally would love to see a microbrewery downtown. I think that would just be so cool. And I think it would just be a great attraction. We have some amazing microbreweries in St. Albert. And again, it would feed into kind of that long-term strategy that we're looking for to have downtown. So Pretty Carrot Cotter is a jewelry store, custom jewelry store. They just announced they're going to be moving into our downtown area, which is so exciting because it is a well-known brand. So looking more for those brands that, like a Carrot Cotter jewelry store or a clothing boutique. Right now we just have, I think, 2. Would be nice to have more because those are the types of businesses where having more will attract more people rather than just going to an area for just one. They're going to go where there's a multitude.
And I think too, the analysis will give us an idea of what we could bring in there, could bring into downtown, because then we'll have an idea of the square foot, what could fit in there. Then we can kind of go from there and see what could fit in there.
Great. I would like a men's shop, actually.
Men's shop? Okay, yep, that's fair.
It could be in the microbrewery in the back somewhere.
There you go. 2 in 1.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much. Good answer.
All right, I see no more questions, but before you guys run away or sit down and we go to Sean for questions, I just curious, your first AGM, did you have a fairly good turnout? Was there a fair amount of interest from the businesses? Like, how was attendance for the AGM?
For our AGM, I would say there was about 30 businesses.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
I think that was okay. I think once we have our website up and running, it's gonna right now inundating people with emails. It gets lost in the vortex. Once we have our website up and running and we kind of have that as a source of communication for people to check when are the meetings happening and what are we doing as a BIA, I'm hoping to see that attendance grow.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right. And that leads into my next more comment already. There is a www.shopdowntownstalalbert.com website.
Yeah.
And there's also a www.parentdistrict.ca website. So I know the owner of the parent.ca website, you guys might know them too, is a St. Albert resident. I can put you in contact with him. I don't want to use his name now. But it might save you some money to kind of work with some existing websites already. I know the parent one is just a citizen who's really excited to make downtown vibrant and would maybe even hand the domain over to you, or whatever you guys need might save you some money. It's good base already. If you don't have them, I can email you those addresses. Yeah, okay. And the other thing I wanted to just mention is if you ever want to meet with Panita McBride from the Edmonton Downtown Business Association, she's the one who came and spoke in March of 22. I can always set that up. I told her about you guys in our bylaw, and she was super excited to see that it had come to fruition and offered any help that she could. So
Awesome.
Whatever you guys need.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right. And so did you want those websites or do you have them?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
I'll
I have,
send them to
I have the Shop St. Albert one. I actually have the contact for one of the owners of that one, so that one's okay.
Okay, perfect. The other one's just the parentdistrict.ca. I will send it to you guys. Elena, I don't have your email, but I've got Shannon's and she can forward it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have 100 websites for competing with each other. I think it would be better if you kind of work together, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great.
Perfect. Okay, Ken, do you have another question? Your hand's up.
No, I apologize. I'm trying to operate 3 different electronic devices at one time here, so.
I could tease you, but I won't. All right, let's have questions for Sean if anyone has any. Somebody, I thought I heard a few that had follow-up. Councillor Killick, go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that there was alignment on 2 things. So lighting up the trees. These are city-owned trees. Some of them may or may not have power to them. And I want to make sure that with the BIA proposing this, which I love, it will look great. How does that line up? And who's responsible for the linkages to make sure that those 2 pieces really fit together, that what the BIA is going to do and it's city-owned trees and electrical requirements, etc.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor. Maybe I'll take a stab at that and then either Mike or Sean could jump in. But I think broadly understanding the vision, then each of these things becomes an individual discussion, right? In terms of the collaboration, the city's ability to support. So presumably the lighting that would be done by the BAA would complement the lighting that's already in place. As you noted, we'd have to work through the issues related to power maintenance, all those bits and pieces, staffing. So each of those becomes a specific discussion that we're more than willing to have. And I think right now economic development is the point of entry for the city that would then galvanize sort of the multi-departmental approach to each of those things, if that answers your question.
Okay, yep. Great. Good to hear that we have the conduit to make that happen. And you know, where there's a will, there's a way. I'm always confident about that. A similar question of just about the items that were on the city partnership list. I know, Mr. Fletcher, we talked about trees, so that was a good one. With the garbage cans, obviously it means not only placing garbage cans, but collection, getting them on the collection schedule. So is the same kind of answer there, that to be determined through more discussion, but we'll figure out how to make it happen kind of thing?
You hit the nail on the head, Councillor. That's exactly right. We take a look at it. And so it's one thing to add them, but who's going to empty them? That's a service issue, right? That the city would have to do the estimate on for sure.
Yeah.
But again, more than willing to have that conversation and figure out what it looks like.
Okay. And the linkage to the additional requirement during farmers market. I know the garbage cans downtown get full really within hours. So that would really help as well. So great to hear there's a linkage. That's the extent of my question, really. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Councillor Hughes.
Thank you. Got a couple questions. So they referenced the Kinsman taking over the Snowflake Festival. So do we need a motion to actually transfer that funds over to Kinsman instead, or because I think the motion was specific to go to that?
Yeah, that's correct, Counselor. So the motion was specific to the Downtown Business Association. We'd need another motion to reprofile that $10,000 to the Kinsman.
I'm wondering if we can, Marta, because I know you're dying, so if we could just put that as a germane motion today just to address that. Would that be possible?
I think, I don't think I'm going to take that as germane today, Councillor Hughes, because we also just talked about policy changes to the events grant to make sure that people could apply twice with the Kinsman in mind. So I think we need to figure out how much money's in that grant, what their plans are. And I think it might be a little bit much to ask Marta to craft that motion on the slide today. So let's wait on that one.
Okay, I think that she's up for it, but I could wait on that. What I'm wondering about, I have confidence in Marta. You've done harder, faster and we've had to do this before. So the other thing I had was, or more difficult, let's put it faster. The extra money that we have allocated right now for this, I know we have it at a certain amount each year, but we're not allocating the full amount. So is the intention to, I'm looking at you, Diane, because you're the money woman. Is the intention to put that forward in May to say that we're going to reduce it by X dollars? Or do we need a motion again to reduce it by that $25,000 for this tax season?
Go ahead, Diane and Marta, but I believe that the wording of the motion was up to. And so it was up to 100% in the first year, 75% in the second year, 50% in the third year. So certainly I'll let the experts do the analysis, but I don't believe we need a subsequent motion. We just match the grant up to 25,000 in this particular instance.
I agree, but we are allocating that much money out of the budget for this tax year. Is that we've said $50,000 is going. I realize that they're getting up to, but we've allocated 50,000 from tax dollars. So if we're clear, we don't need the extra 25,000. I'm prepared to put forward a motion, but I'm asking if I need to, or if there's an intent.
Councillor Hughes, there's no need. They always do adjustments to the budget, but from changes from when we approve it in December to when we do the tax rate. Diane will come to us with a whole bunch of adjustments. This will be one of them. No need for a motion.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to double check because this is a situation where it might have got lost. So, but if you're nodding and saying we're going to have it for May, then that's awesome. And then I guess maybe we can, I don't really want to have to do a notice of motion for Kinsman. I'm just wondering if staff can just follow up and look into that and let us know whenever in the next month or something, just to have that handle it. Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Mackay.
Just a question, administration. I think one of the benefits of establishing a BIA is around maybe some more access. I think the comment Shannon used was, they get around without maybe the red tape. So can you assure me, like, how are we going to assure that happens? So, I mean, how are we going to assure that we're not the stumbling block, or are we the proper checks and balances too? So I understand we're going to be working through economic development, but at the same, like, how do we make sure that there's really solid communication between the BIA and economic development, and then into actually public works or whatever area of the city we need?
I assure you that will happen. I don't mean to be flippant, but I think, right, like the point of entry is economic development, and then each of those issues could conceivably involve different departments, right? And so public operations is probably the one with, and rec and parks as it relates to event planning. And so we would pull those in on a case by case basis. What I will say, just to manage expectations, is obviously we're going to respect our bylaws and policies, right? And so if there are things that run afoul of those, that becomes a discussion for this chamber, right? But I think most of that stuff is actually more so about service delivery that we can work collaboratively.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's mechanisms in place from other communities that have BIAs that are probably good examples that we can follow. I just want to make sure that we're not a barrier to some of the actions that I think are going to bring some vibrancy to downtown. If we've got a willing group of BIA, that I just don't want them to hit a wall, and they have mechanisms in place. And I'm sure you're not flippant. I take you at your word and I take administration at the word. But I just want to make sure that came out there. The other one was related just specifically to the gap retail analysis. And I think there's some value, but I also believe, I think that builds on some already existing work that you guys are already doing. So, I mean, I just don't know how that fits in.
Sure, your worship, to Councilor Mackay. That's actually a really good example of how I believe there's going to be a lot of complementary benefit between the city and the BIA. So, you know, their main focus is going to be around more people downtown, more people downtown more frequently. And then, of course, we're looking at some of the framework to increase the businesses downtown through other investment attraction efforts. Maybe there's a crossover on things like the gap analysis and things like that. I think it's good. We're going to have another stakeholder organization downtown that we can work with and consult on these things. And so I see a lot of benefit working through a lot of these things. And of course, we'll have a lot of open communication with this group. I'll be meeting with them very frequently, maybe more frequently than they want, or vice versa on that too. But I think because the transparency and the communication is going to be so open, we'll definitely identify areas that we can work together on these things.
Good. Do you guys have is there an actual physical presence, or is that in the planning in relation to BIA? Or are they going to be? I guess, sorry, Madam Mayor, I'm looking at administration, but maybe the proponent or the BIA can actually speak to that. Is that appropriate?
No, that's fine. Yeah, what's your question again?
Do you have a physical location, or is it just right in front of
yeah.
your desks yet? Or is there a plan to actually have a physical location for the BIA?
Right now, we're off the corner of our desks. I think we're working with a fairly small budget, and we want to make sure that a maximum amount of dollars are going towards downtown initiatives to kind of meet those vision needs. We can get a little bit of street credit, show the businesses that this is absolutely worthwhile before we start to bring in any additional overhead.
Yeah, good answer. Thanks.
All right. I think you all might remember the major construction we did in the downtown 2 years ago, I think it was, and there was some concern about communication on when and what we were doing. So I think the BI will also add to those kind of things as a source of getting information out when we need to fast, when we're doing some utility work or whatever we need to do. So, and that, as Sean and Mike have said, it's another great stakeholder for them to work with. So I need a motion because I see Councillor Killick, not surprised. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I'll make the two recommendations as written in our backgrounder. That
one big motion. Yeah.
Would you like one first?
No, you can do them together.
That the appointment is of the directors to the St. Albert Downtown Business Associations Board as set out in the attachment entitled St. Albert Downtown Business Association 2024-2025 Board of Directors be approved each for a term from March 5th, 2024 to December 31st, 2025. And two, that the St. Albert Downtown Business Association's proposed 2024 budget is set out in the attachment entitled St. Albert BIA/2024 proposed budget be approved.
All right, Mike, I'll accept that. Any opening comments?
First off, I'd like to recognize Mike and Sean for their work in helping the Downtown Business Association get formed, get up and running, and start to assist them in getting their board together and their budget together. Absolutely critical work, and really appreciate it. I'm very pleased personally to see that the Downtown Business Association, and I use that term specifically because the BIA is kind of the geographic boundaries, and the Downtown Business Association is the actual organization. But I'm very pleased to see that it represents not only a lot of the new young, vibrant businesses downtown, but on its board, it also has a member from the St. Albert Community Center. And I think the community center has been in operation downtown something like 70 years. So, or maybe longer. But it's really important that we have that mix of old and new to make downtown vibrant. Myself personally, on the councillor responsible for downtown vibrancy, I think this is just really moving forward a lot of things that we've talked about in the past, and this is putting those things that we talked about into action. And I know it's some big bold things like the lights and some small little things like the garbage cans, but they all come together and make the downtown more vibrant. The other thing is I'd like to recognize Councillor Mackay's question and Mr. Fletcher's answer, that there is that strong linkage to not only have the ideas of the Downtown Business Association, but then it's going to take partnership. And I say the key word is partnership with the city, many levels, to actually bring all those things to life. And I'm really glad that, number one, that question was asked and the way it was answered, that we have that partnership. So just the other thing I'd like to reinforce is that when we're giving matching funding, it is matching funding that is raised from the businesses through a levy. So it's not like we are just funding them, but each one of the businesses has that $200 tax levy. They have skin in the game. So I think that in itself also speaks to the power of this organization, that the city is not just funding it, it is the businesses are putting in money on their own behalf through the levy, and therefore they're going to want to see good return on that investment. So I think that's really critical to note as well. And I'm very hopeful that over the next few years this will really see some really good positive things, and I'm absolutely counting on the microbrewery, and I think for Councillor Mackay, a distillery for single malt Scotch would be next on the list. So okay, so I think we're in good shape with the board of directors and the proposed budget.
Thank you, Councillor Killick. Anyone else have any comments before I call the vote? Honestly, I don't think anyone could have said it. Oh, go ahead, Councillor Mackay.
No, I apologize. I just hit the wrong reaction button.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say no one could have said it better than Councillor Killick. I thought you were gonna try, but
No, all I could have said was ditto. That's all.
okay. All right, then with no other comments, I'll go straight to the vote. Call for the vote. I'm just waiting for Ken. You know, technology's hard, right, Ken? There it goes, unanimous. All right, thanks everyone, and thank you, Shannon and Elena, for coming today. And good luck. Let us know.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on our agenda, everyone, was on consent, which was an amendment to the Council Code of Conduct bylaw. We passed on a consent, but that just means that we no longer will be, CAO and the staff will no longer be required to record and report council members' attendance at meetings and official events on the city website, saving some time. Councillor Bermansky, Councillor Hughes, can you take your check marks off? Because I get confused that you might want to speak. And I think we are at notices of motion, information requests. I'm going to go straight to you, Councillor Killick, because I know you had a couple.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I believe I only have one.
Yeah, one IR, one notice motion, I think, right? Am I wrong? Oh, you had questions. You just had general questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So just
why don't you read your notice motion in first?
Perfect. That the variable wastewater rate that is based on 80% of water consumption for residential customers be eliminated in favor of variable wastewater rates that are based on 100% of metered consumption for all customers that receive both of these utility services. With this change incorporated into the 2024 budget planning and implemented in 2025.
All right. Councillor Mackay, you have a notice motion, then I'll come back to you for questions. Councillor Killick.
I apologize, I didn't hear you. Did you want me to read my notice of motion in?
Yeah, the one you just sent in today.
Yep, thank you. That permanent overhead shelter with seating similar to the one in the big dog off-leash area be installed in the small dog off-leash area of Lacombe Lake Park in conjunction with the 2024 construction of the remediation of the dog water access, and to be funded from the dog license reserve.
All right. Okay, those will get added to our agenda in the next couple of weeks. So I'll go back to you, Councillor Killick, because I know you have questions, and if anyone else has any IRs, notice motions, or questions specific that can be answered today, just put your hand up. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so it's just a general question for Mr. Fletcher, and it was around snow clearing and snow removal, because they're two different things. But at first, I would just like to say, great job all around. A massive task, and I'm actually amazed how quickly it went this year. But so kudos to Public Works and the contract administration team for both direct Public Works activity and the contractors. Question generally was, I noticed that some snow windrows were left in front of some fire hydrants, not all. I did a little drive around the neighborhood and noticed that generally fire hydrants are cleared, post boxes are cleared, sidewalk crossings are cleared, and I think even maybe utility boxes are cleared, but some are missed. And I just wondered what if there's any comment around that, and what the process is to kind of flag that, or even if it needs to be flagged, maybe administration is already doing drive-bys to address that.
Yeah, thank you very much. First, thank you for your words, Councillor. And we've got our Director of Public Operations, Tim Saunders, online, and I will ask him to respond to your question. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Through the chair to Councillor Killick, again, thank you for your kind words. I'll make sure the entire team is receptive to that. Yes, there is a protocol for cleanup of the hydrants. So the residential is, for all intents and purposes, going to be complete later today, early tomorrow. And following that, we do have a quality team that will go behind, because inevitably there will be potentially some sidewalks, some hydrants that did get covered and not cleaned up by the skid steers that do trail behind the graders. So yes, that is part of our normal course of action. Additionally, in normal winter operations, our utilities group does have a team that will uncover in the absence of a city-led snow clearing, but regular hydrants that would get covered, we do have a team that picks those up as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Tim.
Thanks.
Thank you. And yeah, good kudos to all the work you guys are doing. It's been great. Haven't heard a single complaint. It's awesome. Anyone else have any notice of motions or questions? The only thing I would add, that we all just got an email today. So we need to send some congratulations out to our finance staff. So for the 22nd consecutive year, City of St. Albert has achieved the GFOA Canadian Award for Financial Reporting on our 22 annual report. I'm just reading exactly what this is. This award recognizes excellence in governmental accounting and financial reporting, and represents a significant accomplishment to the City of St. Albert and the management for the report, and was recognized for exceeding generally accepted accounting standards and clearly communicating the municipal government's financial picture. Honestly, a huge congratulations to Diane and well, I guess it's now Anne. We have to, but the entire finance team for that one. If I was there, I'd be clapping loud. But thanks for the work you do, and it goes to say a lot to our residents. Should know how hard you work and what professionalism. So somewhere, there you go. Shelley's got her hands clapping. Somewhere we need to post this if we ever get Councillor Broadhead, if we ever get our or I guess it's up, isn't it? The awards cabinet. So congratulations. All right, I see no one else with their hands up with anything to add. So let's have a motion to go in camera for a dialogue with our CAO. Councillor Killick, go ahead.
That council move in camera to have a confidential dialogue with the Chief Administrative Officer pursuant to section 24(1)(a) of the Freedom, Information and Privacy and Protection of Privacy Act.
Awesome. I call for the vote. I think that carries. We will go in camera. Just a question for Sean or whoever's running. Do you want me to just take the host and shut this down when we're done?
We were going to create the breakout room, and as soon as we have everybody situated, we'll toss you the host to join.
I am already co-host. I think that's a norm now, but I will then shut down the meeting when it's all done.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
We'll exit chambers and then send you the host.
Okay.